Hi, Jim Gray here, and I just wanted to send you this email and say a quick thank you for using my website, www.rochesterhousevalue.com. If you were using that tool, it's likely you're considering maybe making a move in the next year and you may have a house to sell. And generally, the people that I talk to, when they use that home value tool, they kind of fall into one of two categories. There are folks that kind of see the price range that the tool spits back at them, and they're like, well, gosh, that's awesome. My house appears to be worth more than I kind of thought it was. And then there are folks who see the value range given back to them and they think, I have to find a hammer, go seek out Jim Gray and beat him to death because there's no way my house is worth this little. I've done all of these upgrades. Now, I hope that you fall more into the first category. But the thing I want to assure you, if you saw the values and they seemed low, I want you to understand that that's sort of a treetop look and a broad range of where your home may fall in terms of value. But determining what a house should sell for actually is a much more in-depth and rigorous process. And what I thought I would do is just take a minute here and kind of give you one of the issues that impacts most strongly the value of a house, okay? And it's really simple: supply and demand. At the end of the day, it's the supply of homes that exists at the moment that you go up to sell against the amount of demand, meaning the amount of people that may be looking for your house, that really dictates what the value may be at any given moment. Let me give you an example. If you were the only house for sale right now in Monroe County, well, you could charge a premium for that house. But if there were many houses available like yours, that might impact what you could charge. And if there were a whole lot of houses like yours at any given moment when you were up for sale, right, it just makes the environment much more competitive, and it will likely impact price. So assessing supply and demand at the moment that you want to put your house up for sale is critical in characterizing an effective and powerful pricing strategy. So what I thought I would do is give you just a quick example of how I help my customers assess the demand in the marketplace for a house like theirs. So here's what I want to do. I want to give you just a little scenario. Let's say that your house was probably valued somewhere between $140,000 and $160,000, somewhere in there. So when you put your house up for sale on the market, every other house priced in that range, you're competing for the same set of buyers. So I can tell you that in Monroe County right now, if you were putting a for sale sign in front of your house and it was valued around between $140,000 and $160,000, okay? There are 183 homes for sale at the moment that I made this video. They're for sale right now, which means these buyers have a lot of homes to choose from. Now, in the last 12 months, this is a very powerful statistic, 340 homes in our price range, Monroe County wide, went up for sale but failed to sell, okay? During that same 12-month period, okay, Monroe County wide, in our price range, we saw 700 homes go up for sale and successfully sell. So what that means is Monroe County wide, in the price range of $140,000 to $160,000, we're seeing 1 in 3 of those homes fail to sell. So I can tell you that in that price range, when we look at all of Monroe County, it's fairly competitive, right? And the supply is high. Now here's something interesting though. Of the homes that did sell, we're seeing them on average, they're listing for $151,700. On average, they're selling for $148,500. So, you know, the homes that sell on average, get this, are selling for about 98% of what they list at. That's encouraging, isn't it? And on average, they're on the market only about 35 days. So the homes that are priced appropriately for the marketplace at the moment they go up, they sell quick, they sell for a very strong price, and they sell, you know, really fast. But let's just say that, well, let's put it this way. That's Monroe County as a whole. But as you know, that within Monroe County, there are very specific towns that also have their own sort of life, right? So let's look on the west side. Let's say that this home exists either in one of these big markets, right? Gates, Greece, Chile, Ogden, Parma. And again, it's priced between $140,000 and $160,000. So as of this moment right now, buyers who are shopping in that range have 80 homes to choose from. In the last 12 months, we saw 158 of those homes in just these markets in this price range go up for sale and fail to sell, against 218 homes that went up for sale and did sell. So on the west side, in this price range, we see the failure to sell rate at 42%. Now, when we looked at all of Monroe County, that failure to sell rate was 33%, but it's a full 9 points higher if you just look at the west side. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. And you've probably already guessed. On the west side, there's a far greater supply of homes that are in the mid-100s. Doesn't that make sense? But here's something interesting. On the west side, in that price range of the homes that did sell, we saw them listing around 151.4 and selling at 148,000. So the homes that sold for a very strong percentage of what they listed for, and again, under market in just 39 days. So they sold quickly. But let's just say that you had this house. You've estimated the value to be between 140 and 160, but you lived on the east side. So let's look at the major east side markets. We've got Brighton, Penfield, Parenton, and Pittsford. Okay, in those markets, look at this. As of the making of this video, only 36 homes in that category are for sale. So what does that mean? Quite literally, there are half as many homes on the east side as compared to the west side. So the supply for homes on the east side in our competing price range is much, much smaller. And look at this. In the last 12 months, we saw 73 homes go up for sale in that price range and failed to sell, against 201 homes that went up for sale on the east side in this price range, and they did sell. So look at this. The failure to sell rate in this price range on the east side is only 27%, as opposed to 42% on the west side. You see what I'm saying? The supply much lower there, which means the demand naturally goes up. So these homes move much quicker on the east side. All right? The average list price over on the east side is about $152.5. The average sold price is about $149, almost $150. On average, they're selling at about 98% of the list, and they're under market in 34 days. So they're selling a full week quicker than compared to similar homes on the west side. Okay? So hopefully that gives you just a quick primer on assessing supply and demand and how that may impact the price of a house. Obviously, there are other factors that have to be taken into account when trying to characterize a pricing strategy. Obviously, we need to look at homes that sold recently, but you have to be very careful with that. And just as importantly, you have to look specifically at the homes that are currently for sale when you go up. So the question is, what do these homes look like? How many bedrooms do they have compared to yours? How many bathrooms? What year was the house built? What kind of construction is it right now? And you may determine that there are other homes that have some extra square feet, that have an extra bedroom, nicer bathrooms, and you got to take all that into account as you think about how to begin your pricing strategy. Now listen, if you would like a more rigorous and in-depth view of what the potential market value of your home is, I'd be happy to do that for you. I call it a free market evaluation. Basically what I'll do is do an in-depth pricing analysis of your house. I'll also give you insider tips on what to do and what not to do in the house to get it ready for market, to guarantee that you'll fetch top dollar when you eventually do put it up for sale. And then finally, I'll run for you what's called a profit estimate. And basically what that does is it shows you what costs you'll have associated with the sale of your house, so you can have a really solid idea of how much money you'll have left over when your house finally sells. And the thing I want you to know about this is it's completely free. It doesn't obligate you to sell your house, and it certainly doesn't obligate you to list your home with me. The reason I do it is because if you're thinking about selling and you're thinking about what agent may be best to help you with that sale, it's a good opportunity for you and I to get to know each other. And even if you're not selling, it's entirely possible that you may have a friend or a family member who may mention to you in the future that they're thinking about selling. And if so, I'd want you to feel comfortable that potentially you could refer me, and I would certainly be happy to do the same thing for them. Okay? If you have any questions about any piece of the home selling process, don't be afraid. Just give me a call and I'll tell you what I know.